Hey guys, it's Azram with a quick little video here because like last year, all my thoughts about E3 ended up taking up more space on paper than I thought they would. So I'm just going to quickly put them together in this video. This should be shorter than last year's, and it should also look better since I'll be having pictures on the screen. So with that out of the way, let's begin. Our first bit of news is actually going to come on June 5th, a few days before E3, with the Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct. Because of this Direct, I don't think we'll get a trailer at E3, but they'll probably still mention the game in a sizzle reel at the end of the Direct. Now, speaking of June 5th, however, what I expect to see from the Pokemon Sword and Shield Direct is a November release date, much like a lot of other Pokemon games. More Gen 8 Pokemon designs, namely early game birds and bugs, and an idea of how the new gym and stadium system is going to work, since it does appear to be different from how it functioned in Gens 1 through 6. Also, probably some new casual side mode, kind of like Pokemon Ami and Pokemon Refresh from previous games. If you want more details on what I think about Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can actually check out my Galar map analysis, where I have a lot to say about the game based solely on the map. That'll be linked on the end screen. Moving on to June 8th, we get 3 tournaments from Nintendo IPs for Smash, Splatoon, and Mario Maker 2. I think for Smash and Mario Maker 2, we can expect some new interesting announcements. In the case of Smash, the next DLC character seems likely, and in the case of Mario Maker 2, some more course elements, or maybe even a new course theme that we weren't aware of up to this point. Splatoon 2 probably doesn't have too much to offer because it's been around for 2 years and they've already done a ton of updates. But I do think they'll reveal the final Splatfest. More specifically, I think it's going to be a 4-way tournament Splatfest. Like we had with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think they'll do the same for Callie, Marie, Pearl, and Marina. Next up, Fire Emblem Three Houses, which releases in July, so because of that, I don't think we'll see too much of in the game unless they're holding out on a significant feature. One thought I have is that there could be a multiplayer mode, likely one that's separate from the main campaign, kinda like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle Versus mode. That being said, if there's nothing significant to show, then we'll just see 3 houses in the sizzle reel at the end. Same for Mario Maker 2, which also releases shortly after E3. Alright, on to the big one, Animal Crossing, the game that we have probably heard the least about since it's been announced. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the main game of the Direct, to the point where they make the entire booth into a village from Animal Crossing. It's very Nintendo-like since they did the same thing with Breath of the Wild's Hyrule and Mario Odyssey's New Donk City. My number one hope for the game is that they expand the mayor role into the realm of terraforming the village to our desires. Online with friends would also be nice, right Mario Maker 2? Of course, I'm pretty hyped for the game no matter what, unless they drastically ruin the formula somehow. Looking at you, Paper Mario Sticker Star. Luigi's Mansion 3 is another game that got briefly announced for this year, but hasn't been shown much. They have a lot that they need to say about the game. When is it coming? Are the multiplayer or non-Luigi playable character speculations true? Are we going to be exploring one large hotel as it appears from the reveal trailer art? When is it coming? Yeah, I know I said that already, but that's kind of the important question. October makes the most sense just because Halloween and Luigi's Mansion on 3DS released of October last year. One other note, if there was another game other than Animal Crossing that could be used to theme the booth, it'd be this one. It could go for this whole Halloween spooky look. Link's Awakening, once again given a release window of this year but hasn't been spoken on much. What's gonna make it worth a $60 price tag? Or is that a false listing? Maybe it'll actually sell for cheaper than $60? And when is this one coming? Perhaps it'll slot into September? Anyway, here are some ideas I have that they could announce that would make this a more interesting port. Reveal that it's not just Link's Awakening, but also another 2D Zelda game that's been done in the same style that comes on the same cartridge. Or download for you digital folks. include a randomizer mode that you can unlock after beating the main game. Maybe Nintendo actually knows about the Zelda randomizer trend, and that would be pretty insane if they actually handed it to us, built right into the game. Plus, it would add infinite replay value. Add a second island for a new post-game campaign. Just make Link fall asleep again. And lastly, on the totally crazy, never gonna happen side of the coin, have a built-in 2D dungeon editor with online sharing. When Link wakes up, he'll have his maker eyes open. That was a joke about my friend Mondu89. But he's not 89 on Twitch, it's only 89 on Twitter. Moving on. As a side note, if they themed the booth to Animal Crossing, I feel like they could have a Koholint Island section to the booth. Animal Crossing has typically had islands after all. So now we're up to the quantities that we don't know about. And I'm going to start with Mario. Mario has had so many spin-offs and main games on the Switch already between Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Party, Mario Tennis Aces. It's a big list. So to expect another Mario spin-off is probably not out of the realm of possibility. I know some people have wanted Odyssey 2 or a sequel of Super Mario Party. Me personally, I'd be most interested in either a Mario Kart 9, a Mario Golf, or a Mario Baseball on the Switch. But, again, it could be anything, that's why I'm just saying we'll get a Mario game. Probably a spin-off and not a main game. Although, just to be clear, if we did get a main game, I could actually see a Super Mario 3D World port coming. They put it in Mario Maker 2, so the levels are practically there already. You know who else gets a ton of games released year after year after year? My man Kirby. It's been long enough since Star Allies support ended that I think we're due for a spin-off title. I'll continue to dream of the day that we get a sequel to Kirby's Dream Course or Kirby Air Ride, but to keep realistic, I think we'll get a multiplayer Kirby party game. Kinda like Battle Royale on the 3DS, I guess. Or maybe they'd even port Rainbow Curse, though I'm not entirely sure how that one would work since it was so touch-heavy. Maybe it would just be handheld only, maybe they'd work in motion controls, I'm not sure. Now, is there a new game from an existing IP that they could announce that would take us totally out of left field? Well, maybe if they hit us with a left hook, because I think it's time that Punch-Out came to the Switch. They made a hit out of this game with the Wii version that used the motion controls, and the Joy-Con are the perfect fit for this. They're not even bound by the wire that connected the Wiimote and Nunchuck. Plus, the proof of concept has already been shown with the fact that ARMS made its way to the Switch and was a million seller despite being a new IP. So, it'd be cool if they announced it this year. Am I fully expecting it? Probably not. But I think it'd be pretty awesome, and it's hopefully bound to happen at some point. Alright, now let's talk Shadow Drops. Games that they can release right there the same day as the Direct. They've been known to do this with indie titles before. We've seen Fortnite released the same day as the Direct. We've seen Hollow Knight released the same day as the Direct. Are there any other Knight games I should know about? Well, there is Shovel Knight King of Cards, but I've stopped waiting for that one. It comes when it comes. So instead, I'm going to suggest that the surprise Shadow Drop could either be Cadence of Hyrule, Sayonara Wild Heart, or My Friend Pedro. These are indie games that were all shown in various different ways. Two of them were shown at the Spring Indie Showcase, and Sayonara Wild Hearts was shown at the Game Awards, so those are bound to come fairly soon. Well, we're almost done here, but let's briefly talk about Amiibo. Clearly, as Mario Maker 2 has shown, support is kinda dying out for these things, even though they are going to continue to finish the Smash line. So, for those people attending E3, I think they'll get a chance to look at the upcoming Pichu, Pokemon Trainer, Ivysaur, Squirtle, Isabelle, Snake, and Simon Amiibo. As far as new ones go, I think it might be easy money for Nintendo if they made a new Animal Crossing line to go with that game. They already had a full, really excessively large line of Animal Crossing Amiibo for Amiibo Festival. Also makes me wonder if Animal Crossing will support those in some way, or the various cards, or maybe just large amounts of amiibo in general, like we saw with the update to the 3DS game. I don't know. As much as I think it'd be cool for them to expand that feature, Mario Maker 2 just has me thinking that they might be wiping them out altogether. And finally, let's talk about my predictions for the Sizzle Reel. All these E3 Directs tend to end with a large trailer that briefly shows like 5 seconds of each game that is coming fairly soon that's not getting a dedicated trailer on the Direct. So, Sizzle Reel will likely include Mario Maker 2, since we'll have had the tournament already and it's coming really soon. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, since that's also coming the month after. Astral Chain, since we already got a large trailer at the last Direct, and it has a release date. And some upcoming indies from the Spring Showcase. Plus Dragon Quest XI S, which also got a dedicated Direct segment in February. And then whatever other smaller titles I'm not able to think of right now. Of those, we might get a new trailer for Astral Chain, but again, it's not strictly necessary. They already gave us the August 30th date, and we already got a good tease of the story. We know Platinum's making it, and the eShop listing now confirms that it is indeed 2-player if you want to go that route. I'll end off by saying they could announce a new IP this year. The timing is right. And when you think about the distance between Splatoon and ARMS and now this year, it could be open to new IP, but that's not something I can predict because it would be totally new and unheard of before. I have no data to go off on. I could try to predict what genre of game it would be, but I'm honestly having a hard time telling what genre Nintendo can tackle next, since Splatoon 2, they kind of knocked out the big one with the shooter. I don't know, man. Did I say Splatoon 2? I obviously meant Splatoon 1. Oh, that was a silly mistake, but I'm not going to edit it out because I've already spent long enough on this. Anyway, that concludes my thoughts for E3 2019 this year. I'm not really invested in the other companies, so don't expect videos about them, but if you liked what you saw, consider clicking on something on the end screen here. And until the next time, bye.